Hello guys, welcome back to the crew Waltron or whatever it is. But September 14 today, the game became available for free on Ubisoft, and it will be available free to download till October 11th. So from September 14 to October 11, 2016, the game will be free. What do you get? You get the base game. You do not get the season pass expansion. You do not get the Wild Run expansion, and you do not get the DLC packs. The season pass, in short, it comes down, you get two exclusive cars, the Ferrari 458 and the McLaren 12C, and you get your hands, or you can get your hands in the dealers on certain cars which are linked to that season pass. That's basically what it does. The Wild Run expansion gives you 3 more specs, being Drift, Monster and Drag, and it also comes with a competition called the Summit, which has throughout the month qualifiers, and at the end of the month the Summit itself. That's all not included in this game. This is the free, the crew original, let's call it that, and you will start the story kinda here, where you will go to that data station and they will tell you that there are more of those things around which you have to find. There are 5 in each of the 5 states, so there are 25 data stations throughout the map, except for that one that you just got, which is number 26. The story continues and it drives you towards here, and in that barn here there will be, if I'm not mistaken, a 1969 Camaro RS, I believe. And then you have to step in there because you are driving the Ford Raptor, where the sort of wild story started, because you start in a police chase and you need to get rid of the cops, and then you go to the data station and then you come to this barn. I will mention it a couple of times in this video. First of all, finish the story, which is kind of important. That will bring you from a level 1 player to a level 50 player, and you kind of need that to get your hands on decent performance parts, to get your hands on platinum medals in missions, in skill tests, in all kind of stuff. So finish the story, that is kind of important. If I'm not mistaken, you get this car, although it is black I believe, in the beginning of the game, and they tell you to drive towards Detroit, and then you a whole story kind of develops. You will even end up in jail, and eventually you make a deal and you come out of jail, and they put you in a taxi and they drive you towards this thing here, which is the dealer shop in Detroit. The options here, you will get a certain amount of bucks, and the options here are a Camaro, a Challenger, a Mustang and a Nissan 370Z. In the beginning it was the 2011 Mustang, later it was been replaced with the 2015. I bought the complete edition after the Wild Run edition was in the game, and for me a starter car was the Mustang 2015. But if you're playing, for those who were playing in the beginning, they also had the Mustang 2011 as a starter option. But I do suggest get this one. The Nissan 370Z is probably the best use out of the 4 starter cars, so I do suggest go with this one, because it's most usable in all the different specs. So in the beginning you don't have bugs to get all cars and stuff like that, so you need to sort of find your way to the best car, and that's probably going to be this one. Now this car is full stock. If you buy a car in the dealers, it's full stock and you can't do anything with it except for driving around. So you need to go to a tuners, which is also something Zoe will tell you, or you constantly throughout the story get telephone calls from all kind of people, and I think in this case Zoe told you that you need to get street spec for this car. So you go to the street tuners, which is here, and you get yourself a street spec for this car. That means that from that moment on you sort of have 2 cars. You have a full stock Nissan and you have this street spec. Some of these cars have, with the Wild Run edition, included, they have like 8 different specs. So, but that basically means you have 9 different cars. You all have to tune them separately. You can all give them another color and stuff like that. But it is, well, it is the same 370 set. Throughout the map you will find all kind of symbols. This yellow thing, that means PvP or person versus person or player versus player, whatever you want to call it. It's the multiplayer lobby. You can go, throughout the map there are 3 of those things in each of the states, so 15 of those symbols on your map, and that's where you have to go if you want to go race other players. I do suggest wait with that till you have some decent cars, and preferably at 12.99. I think it's Zoe that calls you again, and she wants to see how much of a driver you are, and you sort of go to that, which is the first mission out of 50 or 60 that you have to do in the story. And if you finish that driving test, the first mission, then you are going to end up here, which is your headquarters. It will be the first headquarters you get. Later on throughout the story you will get others as well, and in the end you will have 5 headquarters in each of the main cities of each of the state. So this is the one in Detroit. And there you are. Now, what can you find? It's well, they quickly explain it, but in the beginning half the time you want to drive, and you're thinking, well, not really listening on what they are saying. So I'm quickly going over it all. I'm not going through the whole story or anything. I'm just sort of trying to make this video. Where do you start? I am level 50, as you see, which is the maximum level at this point. It will be level 60 once the Calling All Units expansion came out. That will be on November 29th. Then you will have level 60 parts as well for your car, so also the maximum level of the car, which is now 1299, will go up. But that's for later. For now, what is in these headquarters is the league store there, for instance. There you can depend on your personal rank. You start as a bronze 4 player and you work your way up by playing multiplayer or PvP races. And you get points for that, or you can also lose points in case you finish somewhere on the bottom of the race. Top 3 or so in a full lobby of 8, the top 3 get points, win points. 4th and 5th sort of stay equal, and 6th, 7th and 8th they lose points. And so you work your way up. If you have 100 points, you move up from bronze 4 to bronze 3, and then bronze 2 and bronze 1, and then you go to silver 4, then you go through 4 levels of silver, and then gold, and eventually platinum. But yeah, some are playing for like a year and they are still kind of stuck on silver or on gold or whatever. I managed to work my way up to platinum 1, which is the highest or the top level that you can get. And then you can buy some different colors and stickers in that league store here in your headquarters. Hidden car is, well, there will be a car coming out of that garage here. If you find car wrecks throughout each of the states, are somewhere on the map are car wrecks hidden. 20 you have to find, and if you find all 20, in this case in the Midwest, you have to come to your headquarters in Detroit, and from that car hidden car garage there will come, let's see if I can find it here on my list. There it is. You can sort of build this thing, which is the street spec for the hot rod. Later on you move to the East Coast, also there you will find 20 car wrecks, and then you get the dirt spec. In the south you will get the performance spec. In the mountain states you will get the race spec, and in the west coast you will find the circuit spec. If you can find all those car wrecks, then you can sort of build the cars. So you cannot go to a dealer and buy this car. No, you have to find the car wrecks, and then you can sort of assemble it yourself. The dirt spec, the performance spec, and the certain spec. What you see here, by the way, is your collection board or your full garage. You can find all your cars here on this thing. For the mountain states, it's not called hot rod, it's called buggy. So it's kind of alphabetic order here on your collection board. So you find it under the B of buggy. That is, if you find the 20 car wrecks in the mountain states, you can assemble this thing, which is the buggy. What else can you find in your headquarters, next to your collection board and your hidden car and the league store? You can also repair your car here if you doing stuff like that. But here is the perk shop. The perk shop is probably the most important thing in your headquarters. Take a look at that. It all depends, if you go through the story, it all depends where you are in the story, how many of these people you will find. In the beginning you will only have Zoe, and then later on you will meet Omar and Harry, and once you have met those people, also they unlock here in your perk shop, and then you will be able to get different perks for each of these people. The most importantly is probably, if you're new to the game, is the second one of Zoe. If you go through the story and you're not aware of it, you just go to the story, and every time you level up you get 1 perk point, meaning that you have, if you have finished the story, you will have 49 perk points. Also, if you get all the parts for your car later on, your maximum level of a car is 1234. Unless you put those 5 points on Zoe, Omar, Roxanne and Vincent, that will increase the braking, the handling, the acceleration and the speed a little bit more, and that's how you get your cars at 1299. If you just put performance parts on it, it will maximum level will be 1234. So you have to get the perk points added to get it at 1299. But in the beginning, that's probably the most important one. That is the second one for Zoe. If you can put 10 points on there, that means you have to be level 11, I guess. That will give you your first 10 perk points. Put them on there, the second one of Zoe. That will give you a 20% chance of 2 perk points at each level up, which meaning that if you complete the story with 10 points on there, you will have more than 49 points at the end. When I started here, I had no clue about all this, and I just went through the story, getting 1 perk point every time. And later on you have to buy those. If you want all of them like I have now, you have to buy them, and they are quite costly. They are costing 100,000 bucks for each point, or you can also use crew credits, and then they cost 2,000 crew credits for each point. So it's kind of important to get as much free as possible. If you just go to the story, you will have 49, unless you have put perk points in use immediately, the second one for Zoe, and that gives you extra points. You can reset your points, in my case by pressing F1, and that will cost you 100 bucks for each point. So if you have 50 points, you need to pay 5,000 bucks to reset them, and then you can put them wherever you want, and you can use them on something else. Or so you can in the beginning, if you don't have all the points, or maybe even if you decide not to get all the points, you can just use them wherever you want, reset them, use them on other stuff. What's also important, you can get a 30% discount on cars, on tuners stuff, all in that perk shop. So the perk shop is kind of important. I do suggest go over it and see what you can get there in general. If you're gonna buy a new car, put 10 points on the dealer shop perks, which will give you a 30% discount. Might not sound 30%, might not sound so much, but if you want to get a car like, let's say, a Huayra or La Ferrari, they cost over 1 million. Well, 30% discount, that's 300,000 bucks that you have to pay less by just putting on 10 perk points. But that's for the full stock, and then you have to go to the performance tuner and get the performance spec. Then you have to put 10 perk points on the performance parts as well, of course. So it's kind of important, those things. Just go over it in your headquarters and see what they all do. And then you can decide yourself whatever it is that you want to have on your car. Some give also extra bucks, or there's also one pretty important if you're gonna do skill tests. It gives 15% faster scoring in skill tests, so it makes it easier to get gold or platinum in those skill tests. With those, I think it's only 5 perk points. And then in the beginning, if you go through the story, you're constantly gonna get phone calls from all the people that you meet. And so just follow whatever they say and you go there and do one story mission after another. Try to get the story finished as soon as possible. That would be my first of all suggestion. I already mentioned it a couple of times. On that smartphone there, what you saw, that's sort of where you can find everything you need. You can find your settings, you can find whatever. This is the map, completely uncovered at my end here, which will not be the case if you're new to the game. You will have all kind of blue covers on it, and you have to uncover them by, well, there are two options. By just driving around, you will uncover them. If you have been in an area, that blue square on your map will disappear. Or if you have been some places, then you can fast travel there as well. But you have to be been there before, otherwise you will not be able to get there. So you fast travel there, and by doing that, for instance, I'm close to the Chicago airport now. If in case I was a new player and that was still covered, I would have uncovered that now on the map, and that means that I could teleport to the airport itself if I wanted to. So if you can't teleport to wherever it is you want to be, teleport as close as you can get and then drive to the next part or something. And step by step you will uncover the whole map, or at least somewhere nearby, so that you can always fast travel there. That's probably the most used means of transport, I guess. It's a fast travel method. You can also go to the airport and use an airplane to fly from one airport to another, or go by train from one station to another. Now, in the beginning of this story, they show you a data station which you sort of get for free, but there are also 5 of these data stations out on the map in each of the states. So 25 in total. Seen there are 5 major states here in this game, and in each of them you have to find 5 of the data stations. Well, you see the symbol there on the map. If you're new to the game, you will not see the symbol. And that means that on your mini-map, which is the thing on the right bottom of your screen, you will pick up a signal. Usually it's first thing you pick up is a red signal with some sound. You will get like a beeping sound and a red signal, and that means that there is something to be found in the area that you are. If you get closer to that thing, the red signal will change into an orange signal, and if you even get more close or almost next to it, it will turn green. And also the beeping sound will get louder and faster. So by this point I guess it will be green and it will be beeping like crazy, but there's only one problem. There it is, a big satellite disk, and there's only one problem. There's a wall here. That means that you have to find a way to get there. It's probably not going to be that way because that's too far away. So you drive around the block and see if you can find an entry here or there to get there. Here is a fence. You can go through that fence, and what do you know? Here is a jump to get into the yard here where you have to be, and there you can find the data station. Now you have discovered this. From this moment on it will be visible with that symbol as it is with me here now. You can see the symbol kinda on your well, on your screen, but also if you open the map you will be able to find it. And now of course you need to get out of this yard because there is not really a bit of a problem here to get out of here, because here we go again. Gonna get the new movie again. So just jump up here and another jump and we are back out of it. This is the data station in Chicago. I sorta give it here next to the airport, and then you will find it this way. Some of them are easier to be found, others are hard to be found. Now, if you're new to the game, You see sort of a clock there, or a bell, or whatever it is you call that in English. And there are a couple of hundred of those things on the map, and those are landmarks, or which gives you some sort of, if you enter there, gives you some sort of well, let's say touristic information, or basically it tells you a few things about the area, or it shows them. You can watch that little cutscene or that little video if you want, but you can also just press escape. Just by going in and out of that thing, you just earned yourself 2,000 bucks. That might not sound much, but as you can see on the minimap, on the map here, there are a couple of hundred of those things. A couple of hundred times 2,000, that's an easy way to get yourself a few 100,000 bucks. Just visit all those things. Once you have been there, it will be marked with a green mark on your map, as you can see here. Then you know that you have visited that already, and there's another one in the distance. So it's sort of exploring the map, and those landmarks are kind of exploration points. A couple of hundred of them over the whole map, because yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover. Since this game is probably one of the biggest maps you will find in any game. For me personally, that was already one of the reasons to get this game, because of the huge map. If you compare it to something like Need for Speed, or might be even 10-15 times as big. And you can drive all over the place. The only borders you have are on the north the Canadian border, on the south the Mexican border, and west and east coast you have kind of the ocean. So now on your map you see a car symbol there. That's because I already found the car, but if you haven't found the car, there will be 3 of those symbols flashing somewhere in this area. That means that in this area somewhere there is a car wreck. So you have to drive there or fast travel there if you can get nearby. The same as with the data stations, you will pick up a signal. So if you pick up a signal driving around on the map, it can either be a data station or it can also be a car wreck. Same here, red signal, if you get closer it will turn orange, and if you will get close enough it will turn green. Like here for instance, you will get a green signal, a loud sound probably, beeping sound. There's only one problem, you don't find it. You don't see a wreck, and there's a wall here. Again, you have to find a way around the wall. It can be by a jump if there is a ramp somewhere. If not, you can just... oh, the wall ends here, so just turn around. I am in a street spec now, which is not advisable to go off-road with, because kinda limits to 110 miles an hour or 170 kilometers an hour. To go off-road, really off-road, you need a dirt spec. To go on dirt roads, you need a dirt spec. To go really off-road, you need a raid spec. That's sort of what it comes down to. And here you find one of those wrecks, and there are 20 of those on the map. And then you, as I shown before in the headquarters, that's sort of what you can make with it. That's how it looks like if you find one of those things, and if you find all 20 of them, then you get the car that I shown earlier in headquarters. You can sort of, well, I guess you can combine things. First of all, finish all the complete story. Finish the story mode, get all the missions done, and get your way up to a level 50 player, which is the maximum level. And by doing so, you will see that you will very often, if you have finished a mission, you will very often pick up a signal. So those data stations and those car wrecks are kind of placed in that way that you will already find quite a lot by just going through the story. So if you do a story mission and it's finished, just drive around a bit in the area, because you most likely you will pick up a signal very often. And then you can find a data station or a car wreck or something like that. Now, what you see here now are the skill tests. There are all kind of skill tests, raceline skill tests, slaloms, jumps, all over the map. Next up is faction and PvP. The PvP lobbies, there's those yellow things. That's kind of the multiplayer races. You can you need to go to a PvP lobby, and those are those yellow things on your map if you select faction and PvP. The black things are the faction missions, that are stuff that you can do to get extra bucks as well. PvP lobby, if you click on play, and then you can do solo or crew, and you go from there. And then you can select a number of races. Every player can select a race, and then the system picks one out, and that's the one that you have to do with a certain spec. So I do suggest get a few cars first before you go there. Otherwise, you're gonna get like a full stock car. In this case, a full street car or something like that. And most of the players there, they will have a 12.99 car, and they're just gonna smoke you. And even with a 12.99 car, you are not guaranteed a win, of course, because well, there's a difference between a bronze player and a platinum player. Platinum players in general, well, not only are they good drivers, but they also know the map and the races by heart. They know where to turn, where to brake, and so on. Meanwhile, by finding that wreck, car was kinda dirty, so I repair my cars. I like to have my cars at 100% at all times. What you see here was the mobile mechanic that I used here quickly on the smartphone. That is, for instance, one option that is locked. You have to unlock that by putting some perk points again in your headquarters. If not, then you have to go to headquarters itself to repair your cars. So if you want to use that mobile mechanic thing there, then you have to put some perk points on one of those perks, which makes it happen. Now, if you open your list, in my case, I think it's by default linked to the L key on your keyboard, if you play with a keyboard. You can open your friend list, and if you click on one of those or enter, then you can either remove that friend, or you can open its driver ID. You can compare your driver ID with his driver ID, and so on. For yourself, you can go to Uplay if you click on that, and then it asks you, do you want to go to the Uplay overlay? You can go to it this way, or you can just press Shift F2, and that will do the same thing. But the driver ID, that's what I would gonna go, and then this thing opens. That's sort of your driver idea. It will tell you where you are in the game, how much award points you have won, how much money you have, how much crew credits you have, how much faction spoils, and also the current car that you're in. Other than that, you can sort of go through pages here. The summit, that is, if you have, that's a competition with all different events that you can do, but you need to have the wild run to get that. Or to participate in the summit itself. If you're new to the game and you intend to get the Wild Run edition, I would suggest wait a bit, because on Xbox they also gave the game out for free, the base game, and 1 or 2 weeks later they put a discount on the Wild Run and Season Pass. So if you're intending to get that, I would suggest wait a couple of weeks, because they will most likely will put a discount on it. The leaks. You have a crew league and you have a solo league. The crew league is basically also multiplayer races, but then you play with a crew versus another crew. So if you go into a crew with a couple of friends, then you can go to play another couple of friends. So crew versus crew, that's the crew league. If you just go on a solo and PvP in multiplayer race, then you have a solo league, and that's the one. The challenges. You have daily challenges, weekly challenges, and monthly challenges, and also another way to get bucks. What I have on now here is the daily challenge. Gives you 5,000 bucks. What you have to do: complete 5 raceline skills, reach 1 most wanted star, that's in a police chase, and increase any car to 784. That's an easy way, and tomorrow it will change. It will be something else. This weekly challenge I have completed. I had to earn 10,000 and 15,000 from a drift or something like that. This is the monthly challenge that will give you 100,000 bucks, and you have to earn 100 most wanted stars for this month. That means that you have to the maximum level of a police chase is 5 stars, so you have to do 20 of those 5 stars police chases, but the police is not that good in this game, so most of the awards that I am missing are all to do with the police thing, because I'm not a fan of it. Which brings us to the awards. 15,970 points are possibly to be gained with all kind of stuff. Some stuff like this depends on the stock. Full stock, street spec, all different things you have to do to unlock license plates that you can put on your car. But most of these things you will, by just driving around, you will unlock a lot of them already. For some you just have to drive around, and some are also long term. Drive 1,000 miles in a street spec or something. That's something you will not do on one day, but in 1 or 2 months you might have unlocked those things. Just I do suggest go in each of them and see what you have to do. You have to find certain animals. There is one unicorn, there's a big whale, there's Bigfoot somewhere on the map. Well, you can find them if you want. If you're not that patient, you can also check YouTube. Several YouTube channels have videos. I don't know, probably somewhere in my list you will also find videos for finding those specific animals, like the unicorn or the big whale or stuff like that. This is once you have finished the story, then you are level 50, and that also means you have to be level 50 to get your hands on platinum medals and also on platinum performance parts. So which means you have to do the story and the missions again, try to get platinum medal in each of all of those things. That's eventually the idea. The statistics, you can find all sort of stuff about yourself, how long you played, how much cars you have, which is the car that you use the most, and stuff like that you can find in statistics. Now, the faction. Each month there is a faction war. I will immediately suggest that go for the wolves. Go for the wolves faction, because usually that's the one that wins the faction war. And in the end, as you can see here, faction war ends in 15 days. So in 15 days this faction war ends, and then there will be bonus faction missions. That is a very easy way to get good bucks. 3-4 minute mission where you just have to hit a couple of crates, and it will give you 60 to 75,000 bucks for a couple of minutes. And they're only available for 48 hours in the end of the month. There is one catch though. You have to be in the winning faction, and that's why I suggest go for the wolves, because in the last 5-6 months the wolves were always the winning faction. Now sometimes there can be faction differences in the certain states, but in general the wolves win in all of the states. So if you're not in the wolves faction, you're not going to be able to do the bonus missions. So I do suggest go for the wolves. Also about those bonus missions, you will be able to find videos on my channel. If you go through the list, I have over 300 videos about the crew. Some are advanced stuff, some are stuff for newbies or for new players, and so on. So just go through it, you will find all kind of information there if you want to go know more. This video is sort of a resume of things that I already explained in different videos. But well, with the game becoming free and new players around, I'm kinda making a resume of it all. Basically on what are the most important things to start with in this game. Also here you can change the faction once every 7 days, I believe. But I changed it eventually to the wolves. I changed a couple of times, but then I went back to the wolves, and now I just keep being on the wolves and I never changed it again. Extra bucks can also be gotten from the faction missions itself. Those are the black things on your map, if you select faction and PvP, that is. The yellow things is the multiplayer, and the black things is the faction missions. Now if you finish the story, you are level 50, and that also means you can start upgrading your cars. You can do it before that as well, of course, because you will upgrade your car. Also, by finishing story missions, you will win performance parts and stuff like that. But you can't get your hands on the platinum parts, which are the major parts, and you need to be level 50. So another reason why you always have to start by finishing the story as soon as possible. And then you have skills like this, which is a simple jump, and there are some lines on the road there, and I managed to jump all over them, which gives me a platinum medal. We won a front bumper, and that is only for this car. So that's not for any of my other cars, that's only for this car that I won a front bumper. Another reason why you should not, especially if you're new, not buy front bumpers, rear bumpers, hoods, rims, stuff like that. Even color parts, you can buy those things in the tuners. Don't buy them, because you will win them anyway in these skills, which you have to do to get the performance parts. So in a jump like this, you're not always gonna get performance parts. Most likely you're going to get some hoods and all the kind of bumpers that are available for this car before you start getting performance parts. So it's kind of a bit of annoying at some points, especially if you want to upgrade the car. You do not want to get color parts and hoods and rims. No, you want to get performance parts to get your car as soon as possible at 1299. Can't you buy those parts? Yes, you can, but that's what the problem is. You have to grind with at least one car in each spec. So in this case I'm in a street car, which is already at 1299, but yeah, I have all cars at 1299, so I'm already playing for a couple of months. So now this is a slalom, for instance. This takes longer, way longer than a jump. Jump takes only a few seconds, so the chances that you're gonna win a performance part in this slalom are way bigger than you're gonna do a quick jump for 3 or 4 seconds. Also here you see it goes up: bronze, silver, gold and platinum eventually. You cannot get a platinum medal, also not in these skill tests I believe, if you're not level 50. Another reason why you have to start with the story. So it's finished, we won a platinum medal and we're getting a reward from the smart loot system if you get platinum. My car is already at 1299 with platinum level 50 parts, but those come with a bonus. Now I have bought in the tuners all speed bonus, so I still have all the other parts level 50 to win for this car, meaning braking bonus, acceleration bonus and grip bonus. 11 of each, so in total there are 44 level 50 parts, which is a lot, but yeah, you still have to win them, all of them, at least once for each of your specs. Why do you need to win them? Because they are locked in the tuners. They are not available in the tuners to buy for your cars, and that is a bit of a problem, of course. So you have to unlock them. And how do you do that? I will put a link of a video in the description how to put a car at 1299 if you do not have unlocked them in the tuners already. So you start with a street spec, try to get all the parts, that's a lot of skill tests you have to do and all kind of stuff to get story missions, whatever it is, always with the same car till you have all level 50 parts platinum on your car, and that also will unlock them in this case in the street tuners. And if you buy a new car, you can just get a street spec and you can buy the parts, so you do not have to do it over and over again, all these tests for each of the cars. If you don't have enough bucks to buy the parts, of course, yeah, then doing all those tests is an option. But as you can see here, there are 4 different of them. Also here, for instance, ECU, level 50, braking bonus, and a lot of parts that I have on this one. That means that with this car I haven't bought any parts, I just been doing skill tests and winning them all those parts. So this car, the Skyline, was my grinding car, so I have been grinding with this to get all the parts not only on this car but also to unlock them in the street tuners so that I could buy them for all my future street specs. And not only do you have to do that for the street spec, you also have to do that for the dirt, performance, rate and circuit spec. So at least with 5 of different cars and different specs, you have to do the grinding and try to get all the parts on that one car. By doing so you unlock them in the different tuners, and then you can just buy them for your future cars, which makes it a bit easier. In the beginning it's quite a bit of work and there's a lot of coming to you, but once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty fast. I'm playing a couple of hours or so every night, and I've been playing for, I don't know, let's see, about 8-9 months. I have all 85 cars in this game. I have all of them at 1299. So once you get the hang of the game, it's pretty easy to make bucks, it's pretty easy to upgrade your cars, it's pretty easy to buy cars. In the beginning it's all a bit, it goes slow, or it looks like it goes slow, but once you get the hang of it, it will start going faster and faster. So in short, finish the story, that's the main thing. Finish the story, get yourself at level 50 so you can get your hands on platinum medals and platinum parts for your cars and stuff like that. Find the datastations, visit the landmarks, easy way to get bucks. Try to find the car wrecks so you can get a hot rod in each of the headquarters and so on. That's kind of how to start with this game if you just got your hands on it. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.